film begins with a woman named Si-yeon visiting an old, neglected house. The house is where Si-yeon lived during her childhood. She considers moving back into this house with her father. At an architecture office, a man named Sung-min is asleep at his desk. He looks exhausted after staying up late working on a building project. While chatting with his senior, Sung-min is approached by his assistant, who tells him that someone claiming to be his friend has come to see him. Sung-min meets the woman, but he does not seem to recognize her and asks for her identity. Si-yeon explains that she was Sung-min's friend from the music department during their first year of college. After learning who she is, Sung-min begins to remember Si-yeon and asks why she has come to see him. They sit down together. Si-yeon feels slightly disappointed that Sung-min does not remember her clearly, but she understands that it is natural since they have not met for many years. Si-yeon shows him a piece of paper and asks Sung-min to design a house on Jeju Island. Hearing her request, Sung-min refuses. He explains that he is currently only a staff member and is not allowed to accept or lead a project. He suggests that Si-yeon look for someone else. Si-yeon then goes to meet Sung-min's senior. Unlike Sung-min's response, his senior actually gives permission for Sung-min to take charge of and lead Si-yeon's house project. After receiving approval, the two of them go to the construction site. It turns out that the house to be built is Si-yeon's childhood home. Si-yeon explains that her father is currently in the hospital, and once he is discharged, she wants him to live there. The condition of the house is very messy because it has been unoccupied for a long time. Accompanied by Si-yeon, Sung-min walks around to inspect the house. A few days later, Sung-min presents the new house design sketches to Si-yeon, but she does not seem very interested in the design. They meet again at a cafe, but this time Sung-min does not come alone with Se-yeon. He's accompanied by his assistant, Eun-chae. Sung-min tries to convince Se-yeon once again that the design he created is very good and suits modern housing styles. However, Se-yeon still does not like it. She says that the house design looks like the tie Sung-min is wearing and is not very appealing. In the middle of the conversation, Eun-chae asks what Sung-min was like back when he was in college. Se-yeon says that Sung-min used to be very nerdy and was not popular among girls. Eun-chae is also curious about how Se-yeon got to know Sung-min since their majors were different in college. Jokingly, Se-yeon says that back then, Sung-min desperately chased after her. The scene then flashes back to the past when they were still in college. When she was younger, Se-yeon attends an architecture class. As she enters the classroom, that is when Sung-min sees Se-yeon for the first time. After class, it turns out that Sung-min and Se-yeon take the same bus home. During the ride, Sung-min watches Se-yeon from a distance, but when Se-yeon turns around, Sung-min pretends not to notice her. It turns out that Se-yeon and Sung-min live in the same neighborhood. When they get off the bus, Sung-min plans to follow Se-yeon, but along the way, he is greeted by his best friend, who asks him to go home together.
머리 이렇게 바르는 거 아니야?
That afternoon, Sung-min walks around his neighborhood taking photos for a college assignment. As he is about to photograph a tree, Se-yeon suddenly appears in his camera frame. When Se-yeon looks towards Sung-min, he pretends to take photos of something else. Noticing Sung-min's behavior, Se-yeon greets him and says, "You recognize me, right?" Then she invites Sung-min to walk around and take photos together. While walking, Se-yeon asks Sung-min how long he has lived there. Sung-min replies that he has lived there since he was a child. They arrive at a house that looks abandoned. Sung-min says that the house has not been lived in for a long time. Curious about it, Se-yeon suddenly opens the door and walks inside. Sung-min hesitates, but eventually follows her into the empty house. The house is indeed been unoccupied for a long time, but the inside is not too messy, making it still comfortable to be there. When Se-yeon is about to sit down, Sung-min notices the dusty floor and quickly offers a book for Se-yeon to sit on. Sung-min asks why Se-yeon attended an architecture class even though she's from the music department. Se-yeon does not answer and instead asks how Sung-min knows that she's from the music department. Sung-min replies that he heard it from his senior, Jae-wook. Seeing how stiff Sung-min is, Se-yeon tells him to speak more casually since they are both freshmen. Although he is still awkward, Sung-min finally tries to talk more casually with Se-yeon.
알았어요. 놀면 되잖아요.
놀라니까?
The next day, after returning from college, Sung-min hurriedly gets ready to go out. He has an appointment with Sayeon to take her around the city. Sayeon has just moved there and has not had the chance to explore yet. They go sightseeing by bus, and Sung-min takes Sayeon all the way to the final bus stop. They visit a building and take photos of the city view from the top for Sung-min's college assignment. Sung-min asks Sayeon where she is from, and Sayeon replies that she is from Jeju Island and lives there with her father. Sayeon then plays a CD of her favorite music and offers Sung-min to listen to it together. Sung-min likes the song she plays, and Sayeon offers to lend him the CD later. They listen to the music while enjoying the view from the top of the building. Back in the present, Sayeon comes to Sung-min's office and says that she does not like the design he gave her. Sung-min asks which part she dislikes. Sayeon says she is not really sure, it just feels unfamiliar and not very comfortable. Eun-chae then suggests renovating the house instead of rebuilding it from scratch. Perhaps without a total change, the house would feel more familiar to Sayeon. Sung-min redraws the house sketches, and after seeing the new layout, Sayeon somewhat agrees with it. Sayeon goes to a men's clothing store to look for a tie. That night, she dresses up nicely and brings the neatly wrapped tie with her. At a restaurant, Sayeon waits for Sung-min. At first, she thinks she will be dining alone with him, but she is surprised when Sung-min brings Eun-chae, his assistant, along. At first, they talk about the construction of Sayeon's house, which is expected to be completed in about 2 months. After discussing work matters, Sayeon suddenly asks Sung-min whether he has a girlfriend. Sung-min remains silent. Then Sayeon asks what kind of girlfriend he is looking for. Sung-min says that he is looking for a woman who is beautiful and kind-hearted. Sayeon teases him, saying that there is no such woman, and even if there were, would someone like that really want to be with him? Hearing Sayeon's teasing, Eun-chae laughs along. Suddenly, Sung-min receives a call from a colleague and steps away to answer it. While Sung-min is gone, Sayeon asks Eun-chae whether she has a boyfriend. Eun-chae replies that she plans to get married at the end of the year or at the latest early next year. After the wedding, she will go to America to continue her studies while her husband will work there. Sayeon praises Eun-chae, saying that the man has truly won the grand prize by getting such a beautiful woman like her. After that, Sung-min returns and asks what they are talking about. Eun-chae says they are talking about him winning the grand prize. Hearing this, Sayeon is shocked. She asks why Sung-min never told her that he had such a relationship with Eun-chae. Eun-chae explains that it is a secret and no one else knows, but she feels that Sayeon should know about their relationship. The story returns to the past when Sung-min visits his mother at her shop because he forgot to bring his house key. As he is about to go home, he accidentally runs into Sayeon. Sayeon invites Sung-min to go to the empty house. She shows him the condition of the house, which is now much cleaner and tidier. Sayeon spent the weekend cleaning and organizing the house. Not only did she tidy it up, but she also planted flowers in the yard. While watering the plants, Sung-min says that Sayeon is quite popular in the broadcasting club and asks why she still does not have a boyfriend. Sayeon instead asks him back, saying that he also does not have a girlfriend, right? Sayeon then tells him that the most popular person in the club is Jae-wook, Sung-min's senior from the architecture department. There is no woman who does not like him. He is tall, handsome, and rich. Sung-min immediately asks if Sayeon likes senior Jae-wook. Sayeon stays silent for a moment, then says that it is only a one-sided love, as Jae-wook is not interested in her at all. Back in the present, Sayeon and Sung-min watch the renovation process together. Sayeon seems dissatisfied with the progress. Sung-min reminds her that there should be no more changes since she already agreed after seeing the blueprints. Sayeon remains silent and only says that the result is not too bad. As they are about to leave, Sung-min receives a call from his mother. They argue about the sale of her shop. Sung-min does not agree with selling it while his mother is determined to sell it. After hearing Sung-min's conversation with his mother, Sayeon says that he sounds like an unfilial son for yelling at his mother. She also says that if Sung-min goes to America, his mother will be left alone. Sungmin replies, asking what else he is supposed to do. Sayeon then says that it is truly pointless to raise a son like him. Sungmin is offended by her words. He gets angry and says, "Should I stay with my mother forever and die together with her? Do you think I'm going to America just to have fun? My salary is only enough to cover living expenses and rent. You have money, time, and live alone. What do you know about my life? Are you mocking me?" As Sungmin walks ahead, Sayeon suddenly says, "How do you know that I live alone?" Sayeon walks away and Sungmin tries to stop her. Sayeon angrily says that she does not like being humiliated. As an apology, Sungmin treats Sayeon to food and drinks. Sayeon asks Sungmin how he knew that she is currently living alone. Sungmin explains that during all the times they met, Sayeon never mentioned her husband, so he concluded that she was no longer living with him. Sayeon then finally tells him that a month ago, she and her husband officially divorced. She struggled for a long time to hold on and save her marriage. Her lawyer even told her that the longer she endured, the more marital assets she would receive. Because she managed to endure for so long, she is now able to build a house on her own. Sayeon drinks too much soju and ends up falling over because she is drunk. Sungmin helps her up, and suddenly Sayeon screams loudly and starts crying. Sungmin hugs Sayeon, trying to calm her down. The story returns to the past. Back then, Sungmin and Sayeon's relationship grows closer. They often walk together, and while eating together, Sayeon asks what they think they will be doing 10 years later. Sungmin answers that he will become an architect and Sayeon will become a pianist. Sayeon says that she does not want to become a pianist. She wants to become a broadcaster because the income is higher and there is a greater chance of marrying a wealthy man. She also wants Sungmin to build her a house. Sayeon takes out a piece of paper and starts drawing a sketch of her dream house. She wants to live in a 2-story house with lots of glass and a yard. As Sayeon describes her dream, Sungmin smiles while watching her face as she busily scribbles the sketch of her ideal home.
가을에도 꽃을 심느냐고 궁금해하더군요.
A few days later on campus, Sungmin sits waiting for Sayeon after class. Sayeon arrives and approaches him asking how the broadcast she hosted was. Sungmin replies that Sayeon's voice was very good. While they are talking, Jae-wook suddenly shows up. He offers to give Sayeon and Sungmin a ride home in his car. Inside the car, Sungmin pretends to sleep while listening to the conversation between Jae-wook and Sayeon. Jae-wook asks about the relationship between Sayeon and Sungmin, wondering if they are dating. Sayeon answers no. Jae-wook then invites Sayeon to hang out at his apartment and offers to treat her to drinks. Sayeon replies, "Really? Is it okay for me to visit your apartment, Senior Jae-wook?" Jae-wook says, "Of course. As a junior, she is welcome to visit his apartment." He asks when she would like to come over. Sayeon answers that any time is fine as long as he is not busy. Suddenly, Sungmin wakes up and asks to get out of the car after hearing Sayeon's words. A few days later, Sungmin helps Sayeon move to a new place. He does not bring up the conversation between Sayeon and Jae-wook in the car and pretends that he did not hear it. After finishing helping her, Sungmin says goodbye, and Sayeon walks with him to the bus stop. While walking, Sungmin asks if Sayeon would like to meet him when the first snow falls. Sayeon agrees, and they promise to meet at the empty house near Sungmin's home. Back in the present, Sungmin visits the renovation project of Sayeon's house and finds that Sayeon is there as well. After inspecting the project, Sungmin tells Sayeon that he will treat her to a meal since it is her birthday. Sayeon is surprised that Sungmin still remembers her birthday. While they are eating, Sayeon asks Sungmin if she can request a room to place a piano. Sayeon explains that her father is in critical condition. The doctor says he may only have about 1 or 2 years left. Even if it is not much time, Sayeon wants to live with her father and play the piano for him again. At the office, Eun-chae is angry with Sungmin. She asks what Sayeon is trying to do. The house construction will be finished in a week, and now Soyeon is asking for revisions. Redesigning would take about a month, so what about their schedule? Eun-chae reminds Sungmin that they are getting married next month and asks if he has forgotten. Eun-chae does not agree with Soyeon's request to revise the construction. However, Sungmin insists on continuing and completing the renovation of Soyeon's house. Sungmin works late into the night to finish the new renovation design for Soyeon's house. He spends more time at the project site than at the office to monitor the work so it can be completed on time. Soyeon also frequently stays at the construction site, accompanying Sungmin. Before long, the renovation of Seon's house is nearly complete. Seon comes to check the progress and seems to like the results of Sungmin's design. She goes up to the rooftop and walks around enjoying the ocean view from above her house. There, she sees Sungmin asleep. Seon approaches him and lies down beside him. She gazes at Sungmin as if she is falling in love with him all over again. The story returns to the past. After classes end, senior Jae-wook approaches Seon and invites her to attend the end-of-term party together. Seon does not answer right away. Instead, she asks about Sungmin, wondering why he did not attend class. Meanwhile, Sungmin is absent from class because he is busy practicing near Seon's apartment. He plans to confess his feelings to Seon that day.
내 가슴이
At the end-of-term party, Seon tries to contact Sungmin, who has been out of touch all day. However, she is still unable to reach him. Jae-wook comes over and offers her a drink. At first, Seon refuses because she has never drunk alcohol before, but Jae-wook pressures her into drinking. Night falls, and Sungmin is still near Seon's place. Suddenly, he hears Jae-wook's voice. Sungmin peeks and sees Seon coming home drunk with Jae-wook. Jae-wook tries to take advantage of Seon's drunkenness and attempts to kiss Seon, but Seon rejects him. Then, Jae-wook brings Seon into her house. Seeing Jae-wook enter Seon's house breaks Sungmin's heart. He knows that Jae-wook is a playboy who would likely take advantage of Seon while she is drunk. Sungmin leaves in a state of confusion, despair, and heartbreak. He tries to hail a taxi to go home, but the taxi driver refuses to take him because the route is in the opposite direction of where the driver is heading. Sungmin shouts at the driver and insists on being taken home. Annoyed by Sungmin's behavior, the driver gets out and beats him, forcing him to let go of the taxi door. Back in the present, the renovation of Seon's house has been completed. Sungmin comes to make sure there are no flaws in the renovation results. He also promises to help Seon organize and tidy up her new home. That night, after they finish arranging the house, Sungmin asks how Seon feels about the renovation. Seon replies that she is quite happy with the result. Sungmin then asks Seon why, back when they were in college, he was always so kind to her. Sungmin falls silent and then answers that it was because he liked her. After hearing this confession from Sungmin, the two of them fall into silence. Sungmin stands up and prepares to leave since it is already late. As he is about to go, he notices a pile of cardboard boxes on the floor and takes the initiative to help Seon move them. While lifting the boxes, Sungmin discovers a miniature house that he once made for Seon inside one of the boxes. Sungmin suddenly becomes angry and asks why Seon looked for him in the first place. Was there no other architect she could have chosen? Seon answers that it was because she was curious about how Sungmin was doing and what his life was like now. Sungmin, still angry, asks if it was really just curiosity that made her keep the miniature house all this time. Holding back tears, Seon says that it was because Sungmin was her first love. Hearing Seon's confession, the two of them fall silent. The story returns to the past once more. After class ends, Sungmin sees Seon waiting for him outside and approaches her. Seon says that she has been looking for Sungmin and that he could not be contacted. Sungmin does not reply. Instead, he opens his backpack, gives her the CD that belongs to Seon, and says that he does not have a CD player, so he cannot listen to it, and asks her not to look for him again. Then he leaves Seon behind. At the end of the film, Sungmin finally decides to go to America with Unche, his fiancée. Meanwhile, Seon stays in Korea, living in her new house with her father. She opens a piano course at her home. They each continue with their own lives, having closed the chapter on their shared past. The film is titled Architecture 101 2012. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this channel. See you in the next film.